Good morning, welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Monday again. It is Monday, March the 9th. We're here to look at the new releases that are published this week. And on Mondays we look at the cozy mysteries. Hope you had a good weekend. Mary says, good morning, PK and everyone. Happy Monday. Going to my tax accountant today. Something I never relish, but must do. Indeed. Eating blueberry pancakes to help start the day in a positive framework. Good plan, and then reward yourself afterward with a good lunch maybe. Or book. Amy says, good morning, everyone. Those pancakes sound good. Yes, indeed. And Mary says, hi, Angel. They are good, that is. Like the old ladies in the cartoon say, it's just fruit, right? And Amy says, yes. And Amy said, sorry, Mary, I misread your name. I woke up a little early and have a doctor appointment later this morning for blood work. Hope that goes well for you. All right. Let's jump into the cozies. First off, Reese Bowen. Reese Bowen and Claire Broyles in the Molly Murphy Mysteries, 22nd. Vanished in the crowd. New York is busier than ever as 2 million visitors come to the city to witness the Hudson-Fulton celebration in 1909, marking the 300th anniversary of Henry Hudson's discovery of the Hudson River. Parades, exhibitions, carnivals, and a marvelous display of the wonders of the latest invention, electricity, across the city make for 2 straight weeks of celebrations, while Molly and her family, along with their friends Sid and Gus, are excited to enjoy. But Molly is secretly dealing with financial troubles. She is too proud to ask her friends for a loan, but when they want to hire her as a detective, she jumps at the chance. Sid and Gus are hosting fellow Vassar graduates to take part in one of the parades, but one of the women, a brilliant scientist, never shows up. It seems nobody knows where she is, including her husband. Is she trying to run away from her life, or is it something more sinister? Why have the Vassar women really come to New York City? When Daniel asks Molly to spy on her friends and find out just what they are planning, she finds her loyalties horribly divided. Then the parade turns deadly, and only Molly has the tools to find out the truth. I bet she's armed with her sharp wit. Pie and Mash Detective Agency by J.D. Brinkworth. Jane Pye and Simon Mash are a millennial couple with a little extra time on their hands. Get a hobby. Jane was recently let go from her position as a back-end programmer, having never been quite sure what that meant. And Simon's career as a corporate collaboration consultant seems to be less collaborating and more scrolling the internet in search of matching velour tracksuits and well-balanced charcuterie boards. When they sign up for a private detective class on a whim, they quickly realize they've bitten off more than they can chew. Their instructor, having a feeling his 2 worst students don't have a chance at solving anything beyond finding the classroom, assigns them the case of Nellie Thorne, a woman recently reported missing. But she's not the first Nellie Thorne to disappear. In fact, she's the 5th in 50 years. Jane and Simon set out to solve the case, armed with just a few days of notes, matching trench coats, and feeling they should have enrolled in a different class. The investigation leads the newly minted Pie and Mash Detective Agency to places they never thought they'd go, including haunted woods, mysterious archives, and most terrifyingly for Jane, Simon's mom's house. As clues emerge, more questions and answers begin to pile up. What links the missing Nellies? Why do locals think she's a ghost? Is their teacher hiding something? So what if they're heavy on heart but light on experience? Jane and Simon are determined to uncover the truth in time to pass the class and save the day. Do you really want to read about, I guess, Gen Alpha at this point? Mary says, Amy, I really didn't know your real name, so I too used your wrong name. No problems here, and now that I know yours, I will try to remember it. Good luck at the doctor's. Another must-do task. Indeed. Monday is a good day to get that out of the way. A Scoop of Deceit by Lena Gregory, 7th in the Coffee and Cream Cafe Mysteries. Spring has finally sprung on the south shore of eastern Long Island, New York, and Danica Delaney is ready to take a break from running her old-fashioned malt shop, the Coffee and Cream Cafe, to help her mom start planting for the season. With visions of colorful tulips and delicate daffodils in mind, Danica and her mother browse through the local garden center, where they can't help but notice a confrontation between out-of-towner Sebastian Crane and the local cashier. Unfortunately, as Crane storms off, aggravated and not paying attention, he hops into his BMW and crashes right into Mrs. Delaney as she's backing up in her borrowed pickup truck. As if that weren't enough to put a damper on her sunny mood, Crane then has the nerve to file a lawsuit against her. But when Danny shows up at his mansion to try to straighten things out, she finds him dead, with a knife in his back. Apparently someone had it out for Sebastian, someone other than her mother, a fact Danny sets out to prove with the help of her sidekicks Gwen and Ellie, or Eli, maybe, probably Eli, wading through a slew of shady suspects from the victim's stormy past. Can Danny clear her mother's name and find the truth behind Crane's murder, or will Danny be in danger of pushing up daisies herself this spring? Furball of Lies by Lucy Higgins, second in the Second Chance Rescue Cozy Mystery Series. Whisker Cove's glamorous charity gala was supposed to save the cat rescue. Save the cat rescue until a wealthy socialite drops dead mid-toast. With poison in the champagne and every guest informal wear now a suspect, Maggie Harper finds herself pulled into another small-town mystery. When the prime suspect is the town's iciest resident, Maggie discovers a tangled web of family secrets, hidden fortunes, and betrayal behind pearl necklaces and polite smiles. As danger closes in, Maggie must expose the truth before the killer strikes again, this time at their real target. And then Burbage. End of that row. Faint of Heart by Patty Larson, seventh in the Delane Baker Cozy Mysteries. While Delane is still on eggshells with Hunter's mother Bianca, they accept an invitation to join the family on a weekend retreat. With her mother-in-law still acting oddly and Mary Ellen Montrose continuing to interfere despite every effort to cut her off, things only get more complicated when Claire's soon-to-be ex-husband Darren shows up. Delane is sure the whole mess can't get any worse when a body drops, and she's doing her best to find out why. Can she figure out the mystery before someone she loves is arrested for murder? Decked to Death by Trisha Hart, second in the Cruisin' and Clues Cozy Mysteries. She catered the party. She didn't expect to find the bride floating face down. Oh, that sucks. Margot Go Elliston is finally settling into life aboard the cruise ship her papa founded, MV Aurelia. 3 months into residential deck living, she's found her rhythm: sunrise croissant, late night laminating, and a growing circle of neighbors she's starting to call family. So when glamorous art investor Vivienne Laurent hosts an engagement celebration in the Deck 14 Residence Lounge and requests Go's pastries, it feels like a community obligation, not a risk, until the bride-to-be ends the night in the infinity plunge pool. The official word: a tragic accident. Too much champagne, a misstep on wet tile. The problems? Vivienne was a competitive swimmer who could outpace half the residents in open water, and security logs place Go at the terrace minutes before the body was discovered. Add in a suspicious champagne glass switch, faint pastry flakes near the railing, and whispers about financial fraud, and Go finds herself back where she never wants to be, at the center of a murder investigation. With the Aurelia days from port and the guest list small enough to fit on a single dessert tray, the killer is still on board. As Go folds croissant dough in the quiet hours of the galley, she begins to see what others missed. The champagne wasn't meant for the bride. The alibi was too perfect, and the quietest person in the room had the most to lose. Because on Deck 14, royalty deep, and sometimes devotion turns deadly. Now Go must protect the community she's finally claimed as her own, even if it means exposing secrets that could sink more than one resident before the ship reaches Lisbon. That was a lot of description. Nope. Amy says, that is okay. I answered to both real and username. Yeah. That is the world we live in now. A Wretched Folly by Lynn Messina, 14th in the Beatrice Hyde-Clare Mysteries. Traveling to the ancestral Matlock estate with her husband, Beatrice, Duchess of Kesgrave, is finally able to confront her greatest foe, the pinery. Forced to endure an endless parade of pineapple-inflected dishes, early in her marriage she has devised a scheme to sabotage the despised fruit, which she can now carry out at long last. Good gracious, no, Bee does not really mean the plants any harm, and approaching the building on, I don't know what that meant. Approaching the building on a summer morning, she is struck by how lovely it is, with its elegant portico and high arching windows. It is a shame, then, that she stumbles across a slain corpse. Is there any other kind of... oh, never mind. Almost immediately upon entering. Devil it! A dead body is the last thing she wants to contend with. She's in the country, nearly 100 miles from London, and her recent harrowing experience. Having proven to the beau monde that she is not guilty of multiple homicides, she is eager to put some distance between her and her reputation as the murder duchess. All she wants to do is enjoy some fresh air and ingratiate herself with her new staff, an effort that would not be aided by accusing the servants of lying, although they obviously are, which this constable will figure out quickly enough if he is not a dunderhead. Oh, but maybe he is a dunderhead, and maybe the drawing in the victim's pocket actually is a treasure map to a lost Viking hoard, and maybe the murder duchess is a little too set in her ways to allow a killer to go free or strike again. No, I've not read that series. I don't think I will. Just doesn't sound like my cuppa. Hydrangeas, Hoodwinks, and Havoc. 10th in the Thorne Sisters Sleuths Cozy Mystery Series by D.G. Thomas. That's a pretty cover. Bloomwood is seeing green, and not just from the shamrocks and hydrangeas. As the town gears up for its annual St. Patrick's Day festival, sisters Iris and Poppy Thorne are up to their elbows in emerald-tinted blooms at Blossom and Thorne Flower Shop. Their biggest honor yet, designing the festival's show-stopping floral horseshoe arch and parade float centerpiece. But when the festival's beloved Grand Marshal, local pub owner Declan Callahan, is found dead behind his bar, the luck of the Irish runs out fast. Even worse, a bouquet of Blossom and Thorn's signature green hydrangeas is discovered at the crime scene. With their shop's reputation on the line and whispers spreading through Bloomwood like wildfire, Iris and Poppy have no choice but to dig beneath the glittering green festivities. As they follow a twisted trail of missing money, altered flower orders, and long-buried grudges, the sisters uncover a web of deception hidden beneath Celtic cheer and small-town smiles. From a rival pub owner nursing old resentments, to a secretive niece with everything to gain, to a festival treasurer with shaky books and shakier nerves, everyone seems to have something to hide, and someone willing to plant evidence where it hurts most. As the parade draws closer and tensions rise, Iris and Poppy find themselves racing against time in a town where luck can turn deadly and trust is as fragile as a fresh-cut bloom. If they don't uncover the truth before the first float rolls down Main Street, the real culprit may slip away, leaving Blossom and Thorne forever tied to a crime they didn't commit. End of that road. Chic happens. Or I suppose they're kind of pronouncing it chic. Erica J. Welton is the author. This is 3rd in the Royal Griffin Hotel Mysteries. When the Metropolitan Museum of Art invites retired fashion designer Dora Lee Griffin to a gala Honoring the bold designers of the 1980s, she expects champagne, old friends, and a pleasant walk down memory lane. What she gets is murder. Fashion historian Regina Thornwood has spent years researching a tell-all book about the industry's golden era. Her upcoming release has ruffled plenty of feathers, digging up old scandals and questioning long-held reputations. By the end of the evening, Regina is dead on the museum floor, and everyone Dora Lee shook hands with that night seems to have a reason to want her silenced. A bitter designer dismissed as derivative, a photographer whose career Regina destroyed decades ago, a legendary mentor with secrets he'd rather stay buried, and somewhere in the shadows, Dora Lee's oldest friend Viola seems to know more than she's saying. At 78, Dora Lee has perfected the art of appearing harmless, but beneath the gray hair and gracious smile lies a sharp mind that notices everything. With her Boston Terrier mix Pippa by her side and a legal pad full of suspects, she's determined to find the truth before the killer decides that some legacies are better left buried. In the fashion world, history is written by the survivors, and someone at that gala is willing to kill to control the narrative. Murder at the Tower by N.R. Dawes. Doesn't say where in the series. It's part of the Royal Housekeeper series, it says. So it says. An excitable and clumsy Reverend Weaver is leading a church service at the Tower of London. It's meant to be a special honor, but when one of the ladies in the congregation drops dead from poison, the Reverend finds himself under arrest as the number one suspect. After all, the murdered lady in question was trying to have him fired. ... When palace housekeeper Mrs. Bramble hears about the Reverend's conundrum, she journeys from the safety of Hampton Court Palace to investigate. How could she not, when the Reverend is a dear friend, and she has a knack for solving the murders of distinguished ladies? Arriving at the Tower, Mrs. Bramble finds evidence of bitter feuds between families and secret trysts that lengthen the list of suspects. Will she be able to find the killer before they strike again and free her friend, or will the holy man have to pay for his unholy crime? Woven in Deceit by Gracie Gann, 9th in the Alex Allen Cozy Mysteries. Quilt shop owner Alex Allen finds comfort in fabric, friendship, and faith, but when a quilt tied to World War II resistance history resurfaces in Paris, her carefully ordered world begins to unravel. The mystery turns personal when journalist Justin Case, trusted friend and quiet constant in Alex's life, disappears while following the quilt's trail, leaving behind troubling questions no one else seems eager to answer. Guided by prayer, courage, and a belief that truth matters, Alex refuses to let his story, or history itself, be silent. Joined by her warm-hearted best friend Juniper, their two Cavapoos, Sadie and Buddy, and the ever-opinionated Granny Squad, Alex follows a path stitched with half-truths and long-buried secrets. An elegant auctioneer guarding her reputation, and a shadowy figure determined to rewrite the past, both have reason to keep the truth hidden. As past and present collide, Alex must uncover the truth in time to bring her friend home and protect the history he was trying to save. A Bookish Plot by Anthea Fraser, 5th in the Chiltern Hills Mysteries. Meet Rona Parrish, a feisty biographer with a talent for digging up murder and mystery wherever she goes, and Gus, the adorable golden retriever trotting loyally at her heels. Rona loves her tea, and it tastes even better from an elegant Curzon's cup. When an opportunity arises to write about the family of secretive potters behind the brand, she jumps at it, but someone out there seems just as curious about Rona's private business. Out on a lonely country lane many miles away, a handbag is found. Rona knows it doesn't belong to her, so why does it have her name and address scrawled inside? Things go from bad to worse when Finley Curzon, the youngest, most dashing member of the clan, invites Rona and Gus for a stroll around his family plot in the churchyard. Lying on a bench amid the centuries-old graves, Rona spots a much fresher corpse, and it's someone Rona knows and loves. You can't build a pottery legacy without shattering a few china plates, but now this case feels personal. Rona already knows way too many Curzon family secrets for her own good. Can she piece together the fragments before the killer strikes again? Maybe. Ugh, we are not going to make it. I have time for maybe one more. Murder in a Cornish Tea Shop by Fliss Chester. First in the Maddie Penrose mysteries. Maddie Penrose is staying with her beloved grandmother Nor at her gorgeously idyllic Cornish farm. She is looking forward to days helping out in Nor's little tea shop and evenings wandering down the cliff path to watch the sunset. But before Maddie has even finished serving up scones on her first morning, a man bursts through the door. Nor's neighbor Clive has found a body in the field behind the tea shop. Maddie is straight to the scene, fancying herself as a bit of an Agatha Christie, but solving this mystery is far from a piece of cake. Her list of suspects is jam-packed with locals, with some a little too close to home. The newcomer renting out one of Nor's barns is acting suspiciously. The victim's boyfriend has disappeared without trace, and Clive isn't really Maddie's cup of tea either. But the proof is in the pudding. When there's another murder, her prime suspect is dead. And when Maddie finds a backpack belonging to the first murder victim, her diligent note-taking and quick thinking leads her to discover that the killer will act again, and soon. Maddie is horrified to discover that it looks like she is their next target. Can Maddie and Nor work as a team to piece together the puzzle, or will murdering Maddie be the icing on the cake for the killer? And that is all we have time for. The alarm is about to go. We got through a lot. We'll go through the rest on Friday. Alrighty. Well, I hope you guys have a good Monday and Tuesday. Our next morning show is on Wednesday. We do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Fridays are sometimes not done if we've looked through everything, but we're kind of gearing up in the publishing again, so we will have one this Friday. Sprints. I don't have any sprints tonight. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2 hours. We do every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons. Mary says, gosh, another week to navigate. I know. Best of luck and enjoy today. Thanks. Great as always. Well, thank you for being here. Have good luck with your appointments and be sure to reward yourself, as mentioned. Thank you guys, and Amy says, have a good day, everyone. We'll back at you, baby. All right, thank you, and as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day, and God bless.